The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Munker, his guests, and callers on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2020. All rights are reserved.
Broadcasting live from the ILTV studios located here at University Drive. Welcome to Freedom March. There's breaking news coming out of the Supreme Court of the Bahamas in the Adrian Gibson fraud and money laundering case. Well, we have been advised that the director, acting though she is, Cordell Frazier, has dropped all charges against Adrian Gibson's first cousin. Roche Gibson, praise the Lord, is a free woman today. So it's breaking news, and we are attempting to reach the Supreme Court so that we may determine precisely what is taking place. But praise the Lord, Roche, she is a free woman, according to a Negro source. And you know how it goes here. I do depend upon the Negro people. The Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, has told the media that the government has no intention of privatizing BPL. So that is clarity. And then, of course, I'm going to look at a woman who it is believed that Hubert Alexander Ingram may have encouraged her to come to the Bahamas. These are some of the myths involving the mysterious powers and influence of Hubert Ingram. So we're going to talk about this woman, and I shall reveal her identity and tell you what she has written about. It's a very interesting story, as her story is consistent with the Negro people who fish and sell marine products at Porter's Cay. This is Freedom March. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save King Charles III and the entire royal family. God save the King. Hold on, everybody. I'll be right back. This is powerful today. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Munker, and of course, today is Tuesday, the 5th of March, 2024. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great, to be honest with you, Santa. I'm all right.
Let me welcome you.
A little trouble, but I'm all right.
Well, no matter what your trouble is,
So was I, yeah.
I'm certain you know exactly where to take it, eh?
The source.
Yeah, this is powerful.
Yeah.
Well, behold the Bahamian people. What message do you have for them today?
Very powerful message, and it's a very simple passage. And we can see how we made the connection. A very powerful message, but it's a very simple passage. We're going to examine the baptism of Jesus. And there are going to be a couple of things we're going to notice from this passage, just to show you how it is imperative that when you look at the Word of God, that you do look intently into it for studious reasons, because there are times when there's a lot of doctrinal things, there's a lot of teachings that you can actually learn from these passages. So in John chapter 3, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Producer, Matthew, in the book of Matthew, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 3, 13 to 17, we're going to examine the baptism of Jesus. Pay attention to this now, Santa, because I'm going to need you to take some of these things back to your preacher to examine. It says, then Jesus came from Galilee to the Jordan to be baptized by John. But John tried to deter him, saying, I need to be baptized by you, and do you come to me? Jesus replied, let it be so now. It is proper for us to do this to fulfill all righteousness. That's the reason why Jesus Christ was baptized. Not that he had any sin, but Jesus says, to fulfill all righteousness, to fulfill all righteousness. Then John consented. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. And at that moment, heaven was open, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And a voice came from heaven saying, this is my Son, with whom I am well pleased. And for those who would think baptism is sprinkling, verse number 16 says, as soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. The King James Version has, he came up out of the water. So the mere fact that there was a coming up out of the water, it means that there may have been, well, obviously, there was a going down into the water. What's the purpose of going down into the water? Not to sprinkle you, but to do exactly what the Greek word baptizo suggests, to immerse you, because there's enough water to bury you. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water, which means he had gone down into the water. And watch this now, for those who don't believe in the triune nature of God, it says, at that moment, heaven was open, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove. That's the Holy Spirit, and alighting on him. It says, and a voice came from heaven. Which voice was that? And a voice came from heaven saying, this is my Son. So right in that passage alone, you have the Son, you have the Father, and you have the Holy Spirit. And the voice says, this is my Son, with whom I am well pleased. So there's a lot of things we could learn from this very simple passage. Of course, culminating and understand that there is a triune nature of God, because right in this passage we have heavens open and this Holy Spirit coming down, and then we have the voice coming from heaven, which is the Father, and then the voice says, this is my Son. So you got Father, you got Son, and you got the Holy Spirit, all within this very same passage, debunking or refuting the false teaching that there's no triune nature of God. Examine this passage for yourself. Not only that, look at that. Look at what it says. At that moment, heaven was open, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove. I see some photos that depict the baptism of Jesus Christ, and they have this dove on the shoulder of Jesus Christ. There was no dove that came from heaven. There's this there's a simile there that says the Spirit of God descending. And it was like a dove gracefully descending, but it wasn't no dove. It was the Spirit that came and, of course, lightened on Jesus Christ. John chapter 3. I read verses 13 to 17. Very interesting passage indeed. May the word of God forever and ever be blessed. Amen.
I thank you, my spiritual advisor.
Absolutely. Indeed.
Well, folks, here on the island of New Providence, Barry University, it is a medical institution out of the state of Florida, one of the states of the United States of America, is currently in the Bahamas carrying out medical assistance to scores of Bahamians who are plagued with either diabetic foot or other foot diseases. And of course, the 3 locations that the government has identified as a place that one can go to receive free medical services, it appears that they have attracted quite a number of people. I'm very distressed that notwithstanding this wonderful policy, that there is a category of people who are being discriminated against. And I think it is fundamentally wrong. In the society and in this nation, where we have many people of Caribbean ancestry, why would we turn them back? Certainly, something is fundamentally wrong to turn people back based on nationality, denying the fact that many of these people have been living here in the Bahamas for many, many years. And I have been distressed that in the western district of the island is a Negro woman of Caribbean descent who showed up, it is alleged, at the Fleming Street Clinic, and she was turned away. And I'm going to give Fleming Street the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps she was turned away because there is a policy that tells the medical professionals from Barry University that they have until 5 p.m. to serve the public, and after that, deal you write the note. I'm very distressed that this woman has been treated in that regard, and I call upon Bahamians, if we are getting international support, certainly the people who live in the Bahamas and who has foot problem should share in our medical blessing. So I'm going to, without identifying the woman, and for those of you who may think she's Haitian, she's not. But I think it is a sad, sad day that she had been turned away. But I want to invite her to show up this time at the South Beach Clinic and to get there very, very early, perhaps before midday. There, I'm advised she can register and join the service line. If you thought that was bad, there is a woman whose identity I can reveal, but I shall not. She is the wife of one of the greatest Progressive Liberal Party stalwart counsel. She lives literally opposite the South Beach Clinic. Literally, all she has to do is to walk across the street, even though her PLP husband drove her to the clinic. And she had been denied access. But thank God she listened to my advice, and I told her, show up, for I shall be there, and I shall ensure that she is registered and she received the necessary treatment. A very dignified woman whose husband and her have support the Progressive Liberal Party from prior to 1967, when Pinley and Hannah and those great stalwarts took over political control. So I'm pleased to say that they have registered her and she has received services. But we have to stop this black hate, and we must treat everybody well. I was experienced with it, you know. In 2020, perhaps 2020, when I received words that the United States government, through the administration of President Joseph Biden, was sending scores of vaccine for the Bahamas. And when I took into consideration the F&M talk of discrimination and only focusing on giving vaccine to Bahamians, I had an opportunity to see the Charge d'Affaires of the United States Embassy, and I inquired, is it true that President Biden is going to send the Commonwealth of the Bahamas the vaccine? And she told me yes. You would recall that when myself, my wife, and colleagues went to the sports center, to the Kendall, George, Damon, Isaac, Jim Notorium to be vaccinated, we were blessed and pleased that Charge d'Affaires, she greeted us on our arrival. You would recall that. Well, I had to say to her, so you're giving the Bahamas government this vaccine for Bahamian? Will you please tell the Bahamas government that they cannot discriminate against anyone living here in the Bahamas who wants it? And I'm proud to tell you, she assured me that the government of the United States will make that quite clear. So those who wanted the medication got it. But it is a sad day that we have turned away at least one Negro woman whom I believe she was turned away based on Caribbean ancestry. It's wicked, it's evil, and I call upon Bahamians to love black people. Because all of the people that I saw at the mini clinics, they were Negroes. Negroes. So what the hell is going on that we want to discriminate? I just thought I'll tell that to you. And Mr. Producer, I've not seen you showing one photo, or have you, of the many people that were at the South Beach Clinic today. So it was a big medical fest taking place as scores of Bahamians, many of whom were senior citizens, hopped and struggled to get in. And fundamentally, the South Beach Clinic did a wonderful job. The administrator and her medical team, they were all sensitive and kind and give a loving hand to those people who showed up. I just thought I'll tell that to you for what it's worth. My spiritual advisor, you are quite familiar with the South Beach Clinic, for you was once a guest there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any comments?
No. No one should be discriminated against, especially for medical attention. If that did happen, that is wrong. So if somebody needs medical attention, regardless of who they are to receive it. After all, we are humane. And there is a big difference between being human and being humane, because that is what is built in us humans, to be humane towards one another. So you're correct, Sandra.
And when we took into consideration, had it not been for the American professionals who, free of charge, extended the medical assistance to the Bahamas, we would not have been in a position to service the scores of people that we are seeing showing up. Mm-hmm. And that is powerful, very powerful indeed. Well, there's an interesting taking place here in the Supreme Court. You would recall that one of the greatest Free National Movement member of Parliament, Adrian Gibson, and a number of Negro citizens are on trial for fraud. And in addition to fraud, money laundering. And Adrian is alleged to have somehow come in possession of approximately $1 million, more or less. And you will note the evidence would have shown that he laundered at least $500,000 on a huge house in Shirley Street East. You would recall that that house cost like about $500,000. Well, that trial is taking place, and among the defendant is his first cousin, Rashay Gibson. And Rashay, I'm advised, hails from, guess where? Long Island. Well, today, the acting Director of Public Prosecution, Cordell Fraser. Cordell is a female who's sharing a name that once was the boy's name, but we're living in a world where girls now have boys' name. So she, according to sources, dropped all charges against Adrian Gibson for his cousin. So praise the Lord, Rashay has been liberated from the bondage of this case. We're trying to ascertain whether or not she shall now become a witness against her beloved cousin, Long Island F&M Member of Parliament, Adrian Gibson. So this is a beautiful case where all sorts of legal happenings are happening. So that is what is taking place, and I'm certain that the people of Long Island are following this case, and they would like to know precisely what is taking place. So my spiritual advisor, it's a wonderful day for one of the defendants, Rashay Gibson, Adrian Gibson, vice cousin.
Interesting.
This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. What a wonderful day for Rashay Gibson. She has been set free. All charges has been dropped against her. So the case continues. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. We'll be right back after the break. Hold on, everybody. This is Power. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. Well, there's been a lot of talk about BPL and a controversy that is becoming clearer and clearer each day. You will recall that the BPL union, their leadership has been complaining. They have been verbally protesting over the fact that they had received some information that the government of the Bahamas had intended to privatize BPL. As a result of that, the cashiers, they apparently, I don't know how to describe it, they didn't show up to work. I don't know if we should call it a strike. If we call it a strike, then we will have to describe it as a wildcat strike. And since I am pro-union, I am going to ignore the fact that it was a wildcat strike, because there are many times when unions are faced with issues that they have to become wild, perhaps as wild as a cat. But Prime Minister Philip Davis, he has told the media that there is no intention on the part of him and his government to privatize BPL, but instead there has been perhaps a decision or perhaps consideration of bringing in some wonderful partners to help to manage BPL and to get it out of whatever the problems have been. You will note that BPL, under the Free National Movement, you may have forgotten that under the Free National Movement there was major controversies. You will recall that a man who's been loyal and faithful to one of the senior men in the Free National Movement was brought to Nassau from Grand Bahama to run BPL. I'm hoping that I'm saying it correctly. A senior F&M. He brought a whole man from Freeport, Grand Bahama to run BPL. And that perhaps came about after the African American woman, a Miss Hill, you recall her? She somehow, the F&M got rid of her. And so that man, he was brought here by a man who Dr. Minnis will one day make Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Not many F&Ms are aware that Sir Cornelius Alvin Smith bought this man, it is alleged, from Grand Bahama, and somehow this man became the general manager. I hope I'm not belittling his office. I don't want to call his name because he and the spiritual advisor have one thing in common. They both belong to an ancient Christian denomination. And so when his name is called, my spiritual advisor from time to time becomes very upset because he has alleged that this man is very, very holy and indeed his brother. So these have been the struggle of BPL, and you will recall that under the Free National Movement, hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think it's the F&M. If it's not the F&M, I want to publicly apologize to Dr. Dwayne Sands. But I think doing the F&M, there has been like a major raiding of BPL. And so it has been controversial. Millions of dollars disappeared. You will also recall that during the F&M administration, BPL got into a major financial problem. You would recall that on the island of Bimini, under the F&M, Bimini electrical supply was going down. You remember that? You remember how an insurance company came in? You remember that? And how millions of dollars is alleged to have disappeared. So the PLP is faced with trying to straighten these matters out. And you would recall that the Free National Movement had appointed a wonderful F&M woman. I can't remember her name, save that I can say that perhaps at that point she was the president of the Women's Association of the Free National Movement. And when she smelled corruption and began to protest, she didn't know when the F&M got rid of her. And she subsequently took them to court. So BPL has been very, very controversial, and it has always been an institution that if you are well placed, you could thief plenty of money. There's no one who can refute what I am telling you, because not too many citizens were aware of the scandal that rocked BPL to its very foundation. So let's look to see what the Prime Minister had to say. And you will recall that I told you that the Prime Minister say that he's not privatizing BPL. So that perhaps will stop the anxiety of the union, because the union is very concerned about privatization. And the union has had an experience where many workers had received packages, severance packages, and many of them were not pleased. In fact, one of the scandals was that they didn't get justice. So that is what is taking place at BPL, culminating where yesterday the cashiers is alleged to have not shown up for work. So that is what happened. So in response, Prime Minister Philip Davis said, and I quote him, "We are not privatizing BPL. We will bring in some strategic partners for the purposes of being able to find the necessary funding that we, the government, don't have to arrest some of the issues that we have." It's a lot of money that required to fix BPL. We have to find innovative and creative ways to get that done. He said, and I quote him, "We are in dire straits as to where BPL is now. There is some misinformation that's out there about what we are going to do. And so I thought it was important, said Philip Davis, for me to meet with the union leaders to assure them of what we are going to do, and in due course sit with them again to ensure they appreciate the details. Davis made the statement while responding to a media question on Sunday. So that is powerful. So this is basically what is taking place, because there is a secret. And the secret is that hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of dollars has been stolen from BPL, and no one will tell you. Because there are times in our society that there are some people, when they commit some crimes, because of their status in the society, it may not be regarded as just to bring criminal prosecution against them. And when we do bring criminal prosecution against them, and then when we look good and see what a decent person, what a wonderful citizen that has ripped the institution off, the most we can say, I don't mind how much money he has stolen, we shall frustrate the system. So this is what is taking place in your country, where millions of dollars are missing, and nobody is concerned about that. And therefore, justice has been stabbed in her most vital parts. But I'm happy that the Prime Minister is meeting with the trade union leadership. After all, the president of BPL union was crucial in throwing the union's political support behind then leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, but now Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis. So there must continue to be solidarity between the workers and the Progressive Liberal Party, between the unions and the Progressive Liberal Party. And I call publicly on the leadership of the Progressive Liberal Party not to forget the working class. And I yearn for a day when I pass the PLP headquarters that the leader of the PLP and the leaders of the trade union movement shall sit at Sir Lyndon Pinling Center solving the political issues as it affects the PLP and the trade union movement. It is powerful. I now invite my spiritual advisor to clear the air. My spiritual advisor.
I don't have any comments on that.
You do not have any comments?
We don't know. I mean, everyone is following this latest development on this BPL saga, and I think we're waiting to find out the details. I think the government is trying to restructure some portions of BPL. I think in the coming months, details will be made clear about, I think, generation and distribution as far as I'm concerned. But it does seem as if this privatization is going to take a very interesting turn, hoping it doesn't go in the direction that people think it's going to go in. But anyhow, let's wait and see. It looks like something cynical is going on. But, no comments on that right now. Just waiting to see what's going to happen.
You're waiting, my spiritual advisor?
Yeah, I think they're trying to look at restructuring the management portion.
Is that a good thing?
Boy, well, I don't know. If the
have
government,
in senior managerial position in the country, is that a good thing?
It all depends, Senator. It all depends.
What it depends on?
If the government is going to continue to work along with BPL as it is now, then that's different. If they're going to bring in private partners, then that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Is it
Because when
wrong to bring in fresh monies
coming from where though?
from the strategic partners?
That's going to be a problem. It means that those partners, when they get involved with BPL, they're not going to get involved with it to lose. They want to make a profit as well.
Well, can they not make a profit and everybody benefits?
Boy, Sandra, I don't know. That's difficult to answer.
Well,
you know, to be honest.
I'm going to pray that you, a former banker and a former general manager, that you will reflect on my question.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And perhaps tomorrow.
It's going to be difficult.
Lead me out of ignorance.
Yeah.
Will you lead
if
me
you
out
bring
of
in
ignorance?
Sandra, if you bring in private and partners or investors into this unit or this company, this organization, that's going to cause a problem for the consumers.
Really?
Which means, yeah.
You don't think that the private strategic partners can help us to have good energy? What kind of energy they call it?
Clean energy?
Clean energy, my spiritual advisor.
I don't know.
Huh?
You have to really dig deep into what's going on. Like I said yesterday, when you analyze PPL, I mean, they're in dire straits. The company's in problems. You wonder why it is that the only company that actually is responsible for electricity can't make a profit. So, I mean, what is going on? They don't have any competition. So obviously, something desperately wrong with BPL.
Do you think
now,
stealing may have contributed to it?
I don't work for BPL. I've never examined their books. I've never been involved in their operations. You only hear things being spilled out into the
Based
public
on
space.
the many things that you are aware of,
Has anybody ever been convicted for stealing from BEC?
has anybody ever been prosecuted?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But this is going to be, this is a
let's
very
leave it
interesting development.
alone. Let's leave it alone for what it.
But we've been hearing some sip. We hope it doesn't go in that direction.
You are
Who
hearing
provides
sip.
Who provides the fuel for BPL?
I don't know, but I suspect it might be a night.
Mm-hmm.
So, who?
What's the organization called?
All I know is
Does it start with an
Franklin
F?
Wilson.
Yeah.
All
So
right?
it looks like that's the direction it may go, and if that's the
Well,
case,
Franklin, isn't he a wonderful citizen who
Why?
knows how to make millions of dollars? And are you sure you're not jealous of Sir Franklin?
No.
You're sure?
No, Sandra.
powerful.
No, I'm not at all.
Yeah.
But let's see how this
We shall see
how it works out.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, folks, you would recall that there are many citizens who are working on the ocean, working here in the Bahamas, and they have been observing that there has been many yachts coming to the island of New Providence specifically, and they have not been docking at Brent Seminit Marina. It is alleged that Brent Seminit has a marina. I don't know if it is true, but Brent does look like a man who owns a huge marina. If I'm wrong, may Brent Seminit forgive me for this sin. But if you were to go to Montague, where the fishermen gather to sell conch and conch salad, fish and lobster, you will note, looking north, that there are many, many yachts that are docked in the harbor. And the question is, how do they get rid of their garbage? And how do they get rid of their nanny, their feces? That's a major question. Last week, I think it was, I was at Fort Montague Ramp, and I was inundated by the Negro fishermen who have alleged that they can see human waste floating in the harbor. And they've complained, but they have been ignored. And perhaps I do understand why they have been ignored. But thank God, A woman whom, according to the Free National Movement, was first brought and welcomed to the Bahamas, it is alleged by the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram and the FNM, it is alleged. Her name is Diana Phillips. Diana Phillips has written a very powerful story, a very powerful article that supports the position that the Negro fishermen have been complaining about, but environmental health, but the Defense Force, and every other person who has a duty to protect the natural resources of the Bahamas have been ignoring. So let's look at Diana Phillips. I do hope that we have a photograph of her so that the Negro people will see who this charming author is. So it's very important what is taking place here in the Bahamas. So I'm reading an article written by Diana Phillips. It goes like this. Something sickening is happening before our eyes, endangering marine resources and water quality. And we are acting like it is not big, we are acting like it is not a big deal. That is what Diana Phillips, a wonderful white woman, is writing. I want the Negro people to take note. This is the account of a wonderful white woman. And therefore, it's important that you take note of it. It is a very big deal, Diana Phillips wrote. Sailboats that once tied up at marinas are now discovering the pleasure of dropping anchor in Nassau Harbor, spreading to Montague Bay to the east and past our key to the west. That is what she wrote. And this is a big, big word that I have to pronounce. And anchoring is free. Do we understand what she's saying? Some complaint that the holding ground is not good. Of course, it is not. It was never intended to be a place to tie up. You were supposed to traverse it, not live there, on your way to Exuma or wherever. It's free for you, but we pay the price, or will pay the price in the long run. Diana Phillips, right? Dropping anchor would not be a problem if the boats were tied to a mooring buoy so they could not drag anchor and destroy what is left of any coral reefs or disturb the natural environment. Dropping anchor to the east and west of the main channel would not be a problem if the boats use their holding tank and well, I can't see the words, so just bear with me. And macerators. My spiritual advisor, am I pronouncing this word correctly? What is that?
Macerators.
Thank you. And if we had proper pump out facilities or vessels that provide a mobile pump out service, anchoring would not be a problem if we monitored specific fecal, that's nanny, coliforms, bacteria after maceration. I love sailing. Don't get me wrong, says Diana Phillips. It's just that I love the marine environment even more The titles, she says, and this is very important for my friend Dario Torelli to take note, because I suspect that Dario is secretly eating title. And I want Dario to know that secretly eating title is against the law. The titles we saved from near extinction and now are so friendly, I worry that they are not afraid of people. The small reef fish, from sergeant majors to clownfish, Rossi to gobies, the unsold conch that vendors from Montague tie together and store overnight. They are the rightful residents of Montague Bay, protected by law from fishing in the harbor, but unprotected from untreated floating or sinking human waste or breeding gray water from showers, laundry, and gallery. Just the thought of dozens of vessels a day pumping raw nanny overboard makes me ill. There are laws for everything. Surely there must be a law against this. You say. There is a law, of course, but it does not apply to vessels of the size filling Montague Bay and the waters of Arawak Key. The Bahamas Maritime Authority, says Nikki Kelly. I'll tell you about it when we return. All right? This is Diana Phillips. She's writing Diana Phillips. We're going to talk about it. They're poisoning, and I'm going to tell you about the disease that has broken out in the Bahamas as a result of a bacteria. This is powerful. God save the king. God save Montague Bay. God save the Negro fishermen at Montague Bay. God save the king. So welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and when I took the adjournment, I was telling you about a wonderful article that Diane Phillips wrote. The only question is, who is Diane Phillips working for? It's a wonderful story. It affects the environment, but she's in marketing, and she is known to be doing this kind of work. But it's a true article, and we have evidence where a woman who it is reported to be an American citizen, she came to the Bahamas, went on our beaches, and she was infected by a bacteria, I hope I'm calling the word correctly, that has almost killed her. Now, tomorrow, because I can't find the article, I had the article on this American woman who contracted a serious bacteria on the beaches of the Bahamas as a result of all the sewage. All right? You hear all that talk they're running on about the about New Providence Port and Arawak Key container port, and well, guess what is happening? If you are defecating means nannying in the water, your human waste will float. It will contaminate the beaches. So there you're walking along the beaches barefoot, and you might get sick, or somehow it gets into your body, and I think it's like a bacteria that eats you alive. And as a result of that, if I do have my information correctly, the woman's foot was amputated. That's a very serious matter, because there are thousands of visitors and thousands of citizens who goes to public beaches, and we're not aware that our water is infected, because environmental health, the Maritime Authority, the people who should protect us, they have not been checking. All they say, oh, that's the tourists out there. Oh, that's the yacht out there. And nobody goes out there. And the only time, if I have it correctly, according to Negro source, that the Defense Force speak to these people who are defecating in our ocean. The only time they would tell them to move is if there is, what is the name of that fish, of that sail competition? What do you call it, my spiritual advisor?
Regatta?
If there is some form of regatta taking place. So we thought that we should draw that to your attention, and I may come back to it tomorrow. My spiritual advisor, what time is it?
I think we've got a couple birthdays we need to send out today. Let's see, where are we now? Okay. Yeah, happy birthday to these young ladies here, coming from your friends and family. They want to wish you a very special happy birthday. They wish you well, of course, and hope that you live to enjoy many, many more. So happy birthday to these wonderful ladies, okay? I think it's coming from Mark, if I'm not mistaken. And what else do we have, Miss Producer? Happy birthday going out to, is that 84th birthday to Judy Mortimer, one of the women there. It's coming from her grandchildren, family and friends as well. Happy birthday to 84-year-old Grammy Judy Mortimer, one of the women there. Happy birthday. All the best to you. And of course, we want to send a happy 14th birthday to Durante Young, from her parents, sisters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. They all love you. Enjoy your birthday. And of course, hope you live to enjoy many, many more. Happy 14th birthday to Durante Young. All right, I think that's it. That's all the birthdays we have for today, right? Thank you, Mr. Producer. All right,
Thank
Sandra.
you, my spiritual advisor.
All right.
So these are some of the problems that we have in our ocean, in our harbor, human waste is floating. Many of our vendors who make conch salad, they keep the conch in the water. So if the conch is being kept in the water and there's human waste, well, guess what is going to happen? The conch and the fish will be contaminated, and we will not wait until a major health problem breaks out. So I yearn for a day when the ministry responsible for marine, when the Defense Force, when the Ministry of Environmental Health will now move resolutely to tell these yacht vacationers that they must dock at a marine, and their waste and their garbage should be deposited there. And in the meantime, those yachtmen are paying no tax, so they get a free place of abode. They're not paying any money. And the whole purpose of God making the Bahamas a beautiful place for men around the world to come and vacation, so that we can tax them, so that we can make some funds. I thought I should tell that to you for what it is worth. My spiritual advisor, you have a topic you want to choose?
No.
Okay, this is powerful.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, so that is what is going on. And the Bahamas Marine Authority Notice 59 and they have about 11-page document that is amendment to the International Convention for the Protection of Pollution from Ships, 1973. So Diana Phillips, she directs us to a convention, and this MAPOLA index number 5. Is this 5 or is this 6? It's Roman number. I've never been to Rome. What is that?
It's 4.
That's 4?
Yeah.
I thank you, my spiritual advisor. So the MAPOLA index number 4, is very clear about commercial vessels and ship. But it says, according to Diana Phillip, painfully little about recreational vessels or any vessel which carries fewer than 15 people for non-commercial purposes. And the act has been amended several times since being introduced more than 50 years ago. But if you go there, Nani is floating. And if you go to Montague Bay, you will observe that there are many boats that are docked out there on its way to swim with the pigs. And there are many tour car operators, many taxi cab drivers who are bringing tourists out there to get their nice skunk salad as they line up to go on a tour. But the environment is terrible. Who will be responsible for enforcing the law? Who will be responsible to tell the yachts that they cannot dock in the harbor? Okay? I'm going to leave it up to you, the Negro people. Diane Phillips, a white person, has already told us what the law is. Diana, as a Negro citizen, I thank you for writing this wonderful article, and it is my hope that the Negro people will have taken your warning and do something about it. I think it's powerful. Okay? So I think it's powerful. And it's powerful. All sorts of foolishness taking place in this country. And now I'm going to have to think twice when I go to buy conch salad. I think when I go back to buy conch salad, there is a Haitian man who makes one of the most wonderful Creole conch salad. And I watched him. He doesn't keep his conch in the water. So I'm going to celebrate with him. I'm going to go and I'm going to buy me a Creole conch salad because Daddy, Haitian Daddy, I just love the way he protects the conch. And I think it's powerful. And who knows, I may bring him on the show so that he can encourage Bahamians how to protect the conch from environmental degradation. I think it's powerful. Well, Mr.
But that is a serious matter, though. I mean, you know, and I think we've had issues before down at the fish fry area where as a result of non-collection of garbage, there was an area in the fish fry where they pile a lot of the vendors' garbage, and apparently when it rained, a lot of we have a common phrase now in the country when we insulted people. They call it garbage juice. A lot of that went into the water, and bacteria was in that area. And there was I remember where there was some conch poisoning going on because it affects those fishermen who would actually rest, or those vendors who would put their conch into the water, to make sure they stay alive. And the conch apparently fed on some of the bacteria, and then of course when you eat the conch, you end up getting poisoned. And so getting poisoned, sorry. So yeah, it is a very serious and interesting case. And I think what is happening with a lot of these boats that's docked in these marinas, they are ducking fees. They don't want to hook up to the lines to have their waste stored properly. So rather than hooking up properly, they dock in certain places and they just dump their stuff into the water. Somebody needs to manage that before it becomes a health crisis.
There is a Negro Defense Force officer who manages that, but he has some very powerful friends in the PLP and the FNM, and they have been saying to me not to criticize him. Well, I'll have them to know that unless he moves them people and have them tie up at Brent Simlet Marina, I'm going to attack him again. Okay? So that is what's going on. I mean, I perhaps could tolerate garbage juice.
No.
I'm not sure I could tolerate
Come on, man. Son.
nanny juice.
Oh, bacteria is... Well, okay. Because in the human feces, there's a very common bacteria.
Okay.
You know the name?
Help me, my spiritual advisor.
It starts with an E.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a collie?
Right. It's called what?
Well, his first name is E. E. coli.
E. coli, yeah.
Okay.
The E. coli bacteria is
Really?
present. Yeah.
Really?
In the human race. So yeah,
Well-
that the E. coli bacteria could cause some very serious sickness. So
Well, that and conch salad wouldn't go good then.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
So who would be responsible for making sure that doesn't happen? Is the Ministry of Health involved in that? Or
well, there should be a collaborative effort.
between the Ministry of Health and
Well, let's say
Maritime?
transport and maritime.
Right. Okay.
There is a port controller. He is a trained Defense Force officer, but I don't know how good he is on biology, but he's a
Okay.
brilliant man. I don't know. Then the Department of Environmental Health. So it's all of us, okay? We have to just stand up against it. Other than that, the environment will be destroyed,
Ms. Medusa.
and we will have more people who are going to be affected. Remember, an American woman lost her foot, her leg, as a result of that terrible bacterial infection that it is alleged she caught here in the Bahamas. Tomorrow, I'll tell you some more about her. How does that sound?
Absolutely.
Powerful. Well, the breaking news comes from the Supreme Court of the Bahamas, where today the first cousin of Free National Movement Long Island Representative Adrian Gibson, all charges has been dropped against her. Rashay Gibson, she has been set free today, according to a Negro source. So there are some of the exciting things that is coming from our courts. And what I like about our courts, it's almost like an American court where you're charged, but you could cut a deal. You know, you're allowed to turn coat with dignity. So if you're charged with a criminal offense, and I'm not saying that this position is applicable to Adrian's first cousin. We don't know yet how this maneuver came about. But the new thing now in the Bahamas is you could be a co-accused, and all you have to do is agree to testify against your co-accused, and you could walk away with a juicy deal. So these are some of the things that is happening. This is called modern legality, where we ain't got time to waste. Come cut a deal, come testify, and you are free to go. I'm not saying it's applicable totally in this case, but you would recall that a Negro lady, she had a similar position, okay? I don't think they had dropped all the charges, but this case is so complex. This is one of the biggest case here in the Bahamas. Well, as we talk about the case, there has come before me some information in which it is being alleged that Frank Smith, you remember Frank Smith? Frank Smith is a former please forgive me, Progressive Liberal Party senator. Yeah, I was fortunate to spend a couple of months in the Senate. There he was a member. So we're now hearing new reports that, one, I don't know if it's true, he may have sued the Bahamas government. This is the new talk, And in the process, it is alleged, I have no way of finding out, and I have no way of contacting Frank Smith. But the new talk is he has been successful in a suit. And the Negroes, they always exaggerate the money that you make. And I'm just hearing the figure $7 million. I keep hearing that in my head. I don't know if it's true that he was successful in winning a suit in which it is alleged that the court granted him $7 million. I don't know if it's true, but that is what it continued to bombard me with that. And I've been so busy, I ain't got time to go around the criminal registry to look it up. Now, we do know that Frank Smith suffered. He was treated with indignity, and the evidence turned out to be untrue. Certainly then, he should be compensated. But there needs to be an amendment to the law, whereby if you knowingly bring false prosecution, you got to share the cost. You got to share the cost, or we will sell your lot. We will sell your house. We'll seize your car and your truck, because something is fundamentally wrong. Where those of us in authority know that there's no evidence, but we're playing politics. Let the magistrate figure it out. Let the judge and the jury figure it out. And so you subject a man to that kind of emotional trauma. So in the Bahamas, many people who are in authority, they abuse the process and they suffer no consequences. So I look forward to the day when those who have demonstrated recklessness will be called upon to share in the payment of the $7 million. And if you're not able to pay it, then the court will seize your estate. I don't know, I'm thinking out loud, but that's what I heard, okay? It may not be true, but that is what I heard. I don't want to tell you the rest of what I heard, because I hear things, and many times they mislead me. Most people manipulate me because of my level of education. So that is what I have to suffer when information comes along to me. But if Frank did win $7 million, I think he deserved it, okay? And don't forget, he brought in a high-level lawyer from Jamaica. And certainly, the Jamaican attorney has a right to be paid. And then, of course, some people speculate that his father-in-law, Sir Franklin Wilson, had to write big check. So certainly, Sir Franklin needs to get his monies back. That's the reality of the matter. But it might be unfair that the state must carry the burden of paying the costs. I don't know. So that is what I heard. Have you heard that, my spiritual advisor?
Heard what?
That Frank Smith won a suit.
I've heard that.
You heard that?
Was he paid $9 million
You heard 9.
or $8 million?
I heard 7. Well, if you heard 7 million plus 9 million is 16 million. So we might as well give him $16 million.
I've heard somewhat in the area of $8 or $9 million.
Okay, this is powerful.
Mr. Producer,
Yeah.
could you put that photo up? You can't put that up? Pardon me? Okay. In the studio, we're clocking 2:27. Is that okay?
It's 2:27?
No, I mean, we got 2 minutes in the segment.
No. Yeah. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we
And
do.
the next segment is like 5:30, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So we don't have time to look at that quickly.
What you want to look at?
No, we're not going to start, Ron.
What you going to look at? What you want to look at?
Flash this photo for me, please, quickly, Mr. Producer.
As long as it is not sinful. Okay?
Listen, there's a lot of concern coming out of Haiti, especially the latest development after the Prime Minister of Haiti would have gone into Kenya and, of course, would have signed a deal with the Kenyan president to send troops into Haiti. The leader of the G9 gang.
G9.
There are a couple of gangs. One is
G9?
Yeah, one is 5 seconds. One is G9. Is
The G9?
Yeah.
Isn't that an international organization?
No. It's either G7. No, it's G7.
There's a G7.
Yeah.
I find the letter G to be very sensuous.
Yeah.
Do you?
But what has happened is the leader of this gang, also known as Barbecue, has decided that he's going to launch a vicious attack to try to overthrow the government while the Prime Minister is out of the country. And in doing so, we understand the 2 jails were attacked and prisoners escaped. There's a photo circulating of some of those would-be prisoners that would have escaped. And we want to see if it is so. It's very interesting that these photos has been released so quickly. Of course, the Bahamas government has to be on high alert.
Well, let's talk about it when we return.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
This is Freedom March. My spiritual advisor has secret pictures of Haitians who have escaped. Anyway, God save the king. God save Haiti. The revolution has begun. All right? That's what's going on. Revolution never turned back. God save the king. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Rule is my spiritual advisor. And there's been some news coming out of Abaco that the Minister of Works, who's the Minister of Works?
That's he's the Minister of the Year, Clay Sweeten.
That the Minister of Works,
The Minister of the Year.
That the Minister of Work, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, has apparently decided to ignore the law. We were told that all shanty towns in Abaco were to be broken down. Now, the minister has introduced a new position. He has alleged that those Haitian nationals living in the shanty town with children, that they have been given a second chance. His argument being that notwithstanding that they had been given adequate notice, they were not prepared. And therefore, the minister has suspended the breaking down of their homes to give them an opportunity to find better location and perhaps a place to move their families. My spiritual advisor, before we open the air, do you have a comment on that?
Nah.
And do you have any evidence of any Haitian gangs since Sunday having arrived here in the Bahamas?
No, we haven't heard any information.
And you have no pictures circulating.
Nope, I don't have any pictures.
Identifying certain Haitians as gang leaders.
No, we don't.
This is powerful.
We don't. So let's open the lines.
Well, having heard from my spiritual advisor, I know of no gang leaders who has arrived here in the Bahamas.
Neither do I.
And this is powerful. You may now open the lines.
Okay, let's open the lines. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775, 698-0776. You can call us. Don't forget to turn your radios or TVs down when you're doing cages on the phone so we don't get that feedback. So the line's open. Feel free to call us. 323-7775, 698-0775, and 698-0776. All right, so Sandra, until we receive calls, you can choose
Well, the Minister of Works, he has said that he's giving those people living in the shanty town who have children and who have found nowhere to relocate to an opportunity to find better accommodation for them and their families. So that is an interesting development. And meanwhile, members of the Bahamas Embassy in Haiti, I'm advised that they have returned to Nassau capital. So I think that is exciting. And meanwhile, scores of Bahamians of Haitian descent who have little children and in Haiti have been moving expeditiously to rescue those children and to bring them to Nassau. A Haitian man whom I shall give you a fictitious name for.
You got a caller?
I'm going to call him, just hold on the phone for a second, Jacques. Jacques was successful in flying into Haiti and rescuing his 10-year-old daughter. So I thank God that there are Bahamian fathers who are moving skillfully in getting into Haiti and rescuing their children. It's powerful. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Good afternoon. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. Thank you.
Good. Mr. Montcar, how are you today?
Listen, I am fine. How are you?
I'm fine, man. I'm fine. I trying to figure out something. You talking about the ocean with the water, right?
Yes.
Okay, what about the land with the Shantytowners? That's the same thing. They nanny on the land.
Well, most people nanny on the land.
But you were talking about that?
Well, there is a friend that I was supposed to warn today that the ground well he has, to which he is bathing and cooking from, he should stop it. And I'm prepared to assist him in going to the public pump and filling up all of his bottle because he is in danger.
Yeah, well, the water still goes to the turntable. The turntable is moving round and round.
That don't work.
That don't work?
No.
Hey, you think about it.
Take it from me, it doesn't work.
Well,
I want you to stop drinking the water before you become full, you know?
drinking the water.
Yeah.
You're drinking the water and swimming in the water is the same thing what's going on around here.
That is true, and therefore we must
You
get...
you just talking about the yachts and stuff. Talk with the people on the shanty town.
Well, listen, we're closing down shanty towns.
No, but not what you said just now.
What did I say?
You think about what you say.
I said that the Minister of Works discontinue it, and he didn't talk to me about it. I didn't know he was doing that. All right?
Okay then.
Okay.
All right, take your caller. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Good afternoon, Spiritual.
Good
afternoon, Mr. Monta.
Good afternoon, my dear.
I'm calling in reference to Montague. I told you all about that before.
Yes, you did.
That is very, very dangerous.
Yes.
They are freeloaders. Only in the Bahamas. What happened to the Harbor Patrol? What happened to the Defense Force? Why we can't manage that little area? Come on, man. Somebody drop the ball.
I quite agree
Come
with you.
on. They're going to make all of us sick?
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
totally wrong. Somebody, we need to deal with that. And I agree with the article that Ms. Phillips wrote. She is on point.
This is powerful.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Spiritual Advisor. Good afternoon, Mr. Rodney Manker.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Afternoon.
Yes, I have a question I would like to ask. What is happening with the situation with the dental up at Sunderland?
Okay.
I thank you for
That's a good
bringing
question.
that up.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask Dr. Michael Daville because in Bimini, there is an evil dentist who's collecting monies from senior citizens to make them false teeth, and they are not delivering after an old woman has coughed up perhaps $1,500 on a $2,000 denture. And I call publicly on that dentist to at least go to Bimini and fit the woman up with the false teeth. Now, certainly it is wrong to take the money of a senior citizen and will not deliver on the false teeth. So I thank you for bringing that up. And of course, I will have to ask Dr. Michael Davild. There used to be a wonderful dentist there by the name of Dr. McSweeney. No matter where you came from, once you made it to Sadlands, he would fix your teeth. Okay? Even he would create false teeth for you. Take it from me.
Yeah, but he quit. I just was trying to get a replacement done because the whole year was waiting.
Is there a dentist there? Because my daddy...
They have a dentist there
Well,
that's doing extraction.
well, I'm going to help you.
Doing replacement.
Oh, okay.
My dad's first cousin happens to be the senior nursing officer. Her name is Thelma Monka McKenzie. Call on Thelma Monka McKenzie. Tell her you've complained to me and that I call upon her to see what she can do for you. Okay? And let me know what happened.
Okay, sir.
You got her name? Thelma Monka McKenzie. She is my daddy's first cousin. And her husband happens to be the chairman of National Insurance. See how powerful my daddy families are in the country?
Yes, sir.
So check on it and let me know.
Okay, sir.
Other than that, I'll have to go to Sandlands to talk to her.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, caller. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Monta, I heard you talking, I think, Monday about cash and go. You found out yet who's the one of cash and go?
You know, I've been so distracted because I happens to have gone to the clinic, and so I was distracted. Do you have any information?
Have you ever heard of a company called Arawak X?
Arawak X. Yes, I've heard about Arawak X.
Okay. Arawak X and cash and go is one.
Are you sure?
And cash and go is located in one of our leading insurance companies.
Really?
Why?
Why?
Some of the biggest shareholders are in politics.
Yeah, we understand that.
Really?
Yeah, we understand
Some
that.
are the biggest shashareholder. That
You like to talk about human ministers, but some of these big time.
it's Dr. Minnis again?
Are in.
No.
My spiritual advisor, don't you speak for the Negro man.
No,
I heard him
listen
say,
carefully, man.
do not speak
Because whenever
for
you
him.
hear this word,
Do not
minister, it's
speak
just
for
light up
him.
like a Christmas tree.
what did you say about Dr. Minnis?
You say you talk about him a lot. That's what he said.
That's what I said. I said you have a habit of talking about Dr. Minister.
Well, I have to
Yeah,
talk
company.
about Dr. Minnis because he's a crime interrupter and he's not doing his job.
There's a lot of them who are crime interrupters too, part of this company.
Do you know that Dr. Minnis got up in the House of Assembly, told the government that there is a gangster who's getting big contract, and he would not reveal to the government the identity of the gangster because he claims that harm would come to him. It's a sad day in the country.
You understand now why the CASIS and BEC are on strike?
Do you?
They're not worrying about that because they have cash and go who's going to collect the money.
Okay.
But caller, now that you said that, what is interesting is on the weekend I spent some time in Exuma and I decided to drive down to Georgetown. And as I passed through Georgetown, and as you start to go up the hill, you pass Peace and Plenty, and then this little plaza on the right-hand side, I saw BAF Financial and Cash and Go all in the same store. Is there any connection?
Do your homework. I ain't got no further than that.
Thank you, caller. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hello.
Go ahead, caller. You're live.
Mr. Roy.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Mr. Mongo.
Sir,
Yeah, Mr. Mongo, you know, in the country called the Bahamas, we have sunlight at least 80% of the time during the year.
Right.
I remember when the Honorable Mr. Ronald bring a solution to BPL probably to listen.
What solution did Renwood Wells bring to BPL?
He gave BPL 3 solutions. We can either use the garbage from the dump site, we can use the current from the sea, or we can use solar.
And which one did he implement it?
Well, you know, the Prime Minister that will spank you when you come with the same solution.
But when you say the Prime Minister, who are you referring to?
I think Dr. Minnis or Perry Christian was the Prime Minister at the time when he made that when he gave me that solution.
Well, certainly, if he did it under Perry Christie, he was not wise. But he did it under Dr. Minnis. He was wise, but Minnis wasn't listening to any F&M.
Yeah, but Mr. Monka, you know, certain people who control the petrol in this country, they control the Prime Minister.
Who's controlling the pestle?
You know who control the petrol in this country?
Come on, be brave and tell me.
Frankie Wilson.
Sir Franklin.
Yes.
Okay, well, somebody has to control it.
BPL, people will be talking about BPL losing, the Prime Minister, BPL losing, right?
Okay.
BPL have to provide electricity for 78 different islands in this country called Bahamas.
Okay.
How is BC supposed to make money if they're losing money in all these different islands?
How is it that they're losing money in the islands? Tell me.
Because by the time you transport the petrol to different islands and pay the wages, you're not generating enough, you're not making enough money to even pay for the petrol.
Well, perhaps
what
that
the
is...
bottom line is, what they need to do is listen, solarize all the different family islands, solarize New Providence, and we can save millions of dollars.
Yeah, airports and schools as well.
But because they got friends who bring in the petrol and selling the petrol to the Bahamas, and they're selling the petrol to BC, they make it then millions. So the Prime Minister may be truthful, and I'll say this, Mr. Monto. If you see what Mr. Hubert did to Patel go.
What did he do?
I'll never forgive him for that because he blasted and he told Patel go for that little money.
So you don't want...
BPL, if Mr. Brave Davis already signed a contract.
No. He has denied that the government will privatize BPL. Let us be honest now.
I said if.
No. If is on... What?
I said if.
It's what my spiritual advisor. If it's an injunction, please stop it.
So not gonna happen yet.
No, the Prime Minister has denied it.
I have a lot of respect for Mr. Brave Davis. I don't think he would do that. But the bottom line is he needs to meet with those people and discuss what's going to happen going forward with those.
He's going to bring in strategic partners.
Something that's going to happen to BPL though.
Partners, okay?
The bottom line is we need to deal with solarization for the whole entire Bahamas.
I love your idea.
Yeah.
To supply electricity, and it'll be cheap for this country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So Randall Bell's given the solution a long time.
Well, the minister didn't listen to him.
Minister ain't listen. None of these prime ministers listen to people of the solution because
listen.
People who sell the petrol after they
Renwood Wells was a minister in Minnis's cabinet. Minnis should have listened to him because he had no F&M more faithful to him than Renwood Wells.
I agree with you, Mr. Mungo.
Do well, my brother. God save the king.
Yes, you too. Take care. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Hello, good day. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you so much.
Spiritual advisor, Fred Moncur.
Yes, sir.
One question. With this going on in Haiti.
Yes.
Yes. You ever thought about going down there?
I'm ready.
To be a negotiator on the part of the Bahamas government to bring peace?
I don't know why the government did not invite me to go when Perry Glass and Christie went down. I am certain that if I had gone to Haiti, there would be peace in Haiti.
It's still not too late, you know.
Well, what is happening?
Who can they create on me?
Well, you see, repeat that again. Listen, I'm prepared to volunteer now. You have called me to national service, and I'm prepared to go to Haiti.
Yes, right.
This is powerful.
Okay, peace, you are a international peace negotiator.
Yeah,
listen to me. I'm willing to go
Don't
now.
get spiritual advisor now.
I'm not going now. I'm ready to go to Haiti.
Yeah, he can go.
All I need is the government to invite me to go, and I shall go.
Do it on your own.
No.
You are international peace negotiator.
No. I need the defense force. I already Listen to me, my brother. If you want me to go, if you're sincere about what you are requesting, I have already selected the officers of the Defense Force who should accompany me. They are all fluent in Haitian Creole. And
But you gotta go down first and do the groundwork.
no. I need security.
They know barbecue?
When Christie went to Haiti, the Canadian provided him with the machinery
I hope they know
to
barbecue.
protect them. I'm ready to
Think
go.
about that, brother. Come on, go.
I will sleep on that. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
have a good one, man.
I'm
All right,
ready
you
to go
too.
to Haiti.
All right, take care.
This is powerful.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Spiritual Advisor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monka.
So,
I listened to you all talk about the Montague situation.
yes.
And most times I pass by Montague. From it started, at first I saw 2 boats. And then I guess word get out as to how you can come and live in the Bahamas without paying a dime.
Yes.
But my thing is this. I hear you talk about the feces and all of that.
Yes.
All of that is dangerous.
Yes, it is.
But let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think that this situation was going on in the Montague shores and all the way down to Arawak Key? Do you think this may be some of the problems that we have facing us with this murder? Because when these people come, you don't know what they have on their boat. And so no one searches them, and they have dinghies where they can move at any time. I'll bring you a scenario that when I was working in Lightfoot Key, I thought that when yachts come through the harbor, that the security or whomever were to search these people as they come in, they would have to stop to the dock and then let them go home. But then I saw otherwise. People come in, go home, and then they send for the immigration or whatever.
Or the custom.
Search these boats.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, do you think that this is the same situation where we may have a problem with these people in the harbor and supplying guns, and the authority do not know because they won't search?
Well, let me respond like this. When the Honorable Frank Watson was the Deputy Prime Minister of the Bahamas, there were scores of people who came into Lightfoot Key unlawfully. The Defense Force, and I rely on them because they complained to me, they raided Lightfoot Key and captured those people, and then it is alleged that they received a call from the Deputy Prime Minister telling them to release those who entered the country unlawfully to a woman who Rum is named after her. You have me convinced, and I shall advise the Commissioner of Police of your theory so that the police can now keep an eye on these places.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I just thought I'd just bring that to your attention.
I thank you.
Have a blessed day.
I thank you very much.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Richard Advisor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Brother Manga,
So,
how you do?
listen, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. I need a question. I was having some breakfast with some friends this morning,
Yes?
and they tried to convince me of something, but I got to get it from you, and once you say it, then I believe it.
Well, put the question.
Who do you think is going to be Dr. Minnis' deputy when he becomes leader of the FNM after convention?
We who are in opposition to Dr. Minnis, we shall not allow him to emerge.
I asked you a question, my
I'm
brother.
answering you.
Why are you concerned about that?
We will
Deputy.
not allow him to become the leader of the Free National Movement. But if by chance he does
See, I didn't
become,
say if. That's why I didn't use the word if.
why
I
does
said
man?
when he becomes.
Why don't you listen, man?
Okay.
And when he becomes leader of the FNM, we have a wonderful female whose name we shall not reveal now.
Can I reveal it?
No. Please don't.
It won't be Rambert Wells.
Renwood Wells is a man. Please be
I said it
respectful.
won't be Rambert Wells as a Stephanie.
No, it won't be Renwood. Renwood has returned to the church.
You think it'll be Kamalafi?
No, Kamalafi is not that kind of mature politician.
Okay.
Thank you, caller.
All right, good.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye. 323-7775, 698-0775. Yeah, we are at the 2-minute mark. Anyway,
What time is it?
We got 2 more minutes before the
Really?
show ends. Yeah.
Well, folks, we're coming to the end of today's show. There are some great things happening in the judiciary. The Adrian Gibson case is a wonderful case.
Not going well.
And of course, his first cousin, Rashay Gibson, she, praise the Lord, has been set free.
No, was there a deal cut, you think?
I don't know, but we'll know if there was.
Was she now turned
By-
down evidence?
I cannot say that categorically until tomorrow. So it's breaking news. Adrian Gibson, Long Island Member of Parliament, his first cousin, praise the Lord, has been set free. And this is the Bahamas' judiciary functioning responsibly. This is the Bahamas prosecution acting responsibly. So we must have faith in our judicial system. And I think it's powerful, very powerful indeed. So it's been a day of real excitement. I wanted to look at the failure of the media, how last week the media made one of the biggest mistake, and I am suspicious that the Nassau Guardian under Candia Dames and the Tribune under Mrs. Eileen Karen DePuch might be hiding the news. This only that they're doing it for Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis. Anyway, my spiritual advisor,
Until tomorrow,
God save
if it's the Lord's will.
the people of Haiti. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save Diana Phillips. A wonderful article today. God save the King, King Charles III, and the entire royal family. God save the King. Do well, everybody.